Back in 2008, one guy that really got the crowd going that doesn't play golf anymore is Anthony Kim.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Sleaze and I have both played golf with him. I've been around him a ton. For the people out there that never really got to see Anthony Kim play, I mean, how good was this guy? And what was he like being on a team with him that week?
It's hard to tell people how good he was. He's really good, really, really talented. He had a really amazing blend of technique that was excellent. His swing was fantastic. Short game was great. Sort of a streaky putter, but his technique and ball striking was so good, and he was so consistent. And he was never afraid of competition. He was super competitive when you got him on the golf course. He really wanted to beat your brains in. Like, he really enjoyed just beating you. There was a sort of a tiger thing to him of, he was not afraid of competition from anybody.
What was it like him being on the team? Because, I mean, he's got the belt buckle. He's going crazy. He beat Sergio. Doesn't even know he won.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
I think that was we had such a fun mix of players that week, and he was part of that fun mix. And Paul did a great job of letting Anthony sort of be Anthony. And he wasn't going to try to corral him and try to bring him in and say, well, you've got to be one of 12 and you have to be a part of the team. And he just let everyone be who they were. And just Anthony was just going to be Anthony. Anthony was going to have fun. To be the best of Anthony, you just had to let him sort of roll and put him with Phil, which was great because they can kind of go back and forth and banter with each other and just let him, have fun and enjoy the experience. And Paul was the perfect person for Anthony to kind of, fuel that fire that Anthony has and put him as soon as I think we all knew, we were all praying that he'd get Sergio because that was just going to be the perfect pairing because Anthony wanted a big piece of him and we all hoped he would get it. And especially after Saturday, because Anthony and I were supposed to play Saturday afternoon and Phil and Justin were going to rest. Anthony had played awful Saturday morning. I mean, we had to bench him because Phil was not really wanting to play 5 matches. So Phil and I had to play in the afternoon. So Anthony was pretty fired up. I mean, he was really fired up to go out and play somebody. And luckily we got Sergio. And I think we all knew, if we could have gone to, some sports book and put a lot of money in Anthony, we all would have done it. And obviously he went out there and just proved it.
So that's how that matchup or that pairing between you and Phil came to be, because you and Justin Leonard were going out earlier that week, and you guys were beating everybody more or less and having a great run. And then I remember you got paired up with Phil. So that wasn't always part of the plan for you to go with Phil that afternoon. It was just because Anthony played bad, and then it had to kind of adapt on the fly.
Yeah, I think that was Paul had all the kind of history of guys with 5 matches, and it's not great when they go into singles. Such an emotional week. So I think he definitely one of the young guys, me and him, it's going to be just best ball to go out there and play since we were just in our 20s and we were, we didn't want to sit. We just wanted to go play and compete. And so, and Anthony was kind of streaky that week and he just had a bad morning, just whatever it was. But obviously he fixed it. Phil and I got, I think, a half in that afternoon. And like we said, I think we all knew Anthony was going to go out and be really, really good. And he just needed a break. He just needed a moment to kind of, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that little session off to kind of get back, because that week happened so fast. And when you get going good, it's great. But when you kind of get sideways, there's so much going on. You just kind of need a moment to relax and maybe go hit balls, because you sort of are out of your comfort zone a little bit and you are out of your routine. And so it's a lot. That Ryder Cup week, there's a lot going on. So it was fun to, have the result we did, though.
Let's go to that 2005, though, Walker Cup, because you were on the team. That was a squad. And your partner.
AK.
Yes, the legend.
AK is probably, if he's not the best, he's top 3, most talented, incredible golf. Just top to bottom golfer ever. It's incredible what he could do. He could hit it. He could hit it as far as anyone when he wanted to. His short game was just out of this world. And his iron shots, he choked down this far on the iron and just mashed it. Everyone was right out of the barrel. You play with him.
And he was doing things even in college. I remember the first time I played, I got on the bus afterwards. I was like, there's not a person here that can hold a can. But he would be fading shots into hook wins with irons from the fairway and doing stuff that tour pros were doing at age 19, 20,
he could do whatever he wanted to.
Yeah.
And I can remember. So we were partners. We're playing alternate shot. We get out there the first day, and he's super nervous. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm gonna have to calm this guy down, because I'm like, Anthony, you are so much better than anyone here. Like, all you have to do is just keep breathing, and we're going to wax these guys.
Did like 6 and 4.
We killed them. And it's like, bro, just left foot, right foot, man. That's all I need. Just don't trip.
Yeah.
Like,
But I feel like the
stay
people-
upright.
You're better.
The people nowadays, though, they don't realize that didn't get to see him play. Like, we
I
saw
know.
him play. It's just like, everyone asks, who's the best player you ever played with? And I'm like, Anthony Kim. And they're like, what? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
who?
I'm not kidding
Yeah.
you. Like, day in, day out, it was just a joke.
And he would do it. It was like he would show off sometimes. He would be playing so good and be like, "Oh, watch, I'm gonna make birdie like this time." It's just nuts.
Yeah, he'd hit like 7-iron from 180 to 13 feet, and then like slam his club, and I'm like, oh my god, I would be.
I swear,
I would be overjoyed.
I watched him hole more iron shots. Like, I think I remember him holing more iron shots than I can remember me making like through my entire career.
And you were
He's-
around
he's
Anthony
pretty
Kim
good.
when he was Anthony Kim.
Dude,
man.
AK
He was a 10,
AK,
bro.
AK had swag, man. That
More juice than
that's-
anybody.
He was another guy. I think he was a little misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I was boys with him, but and I, there was things that he would do that I didn't necessarily appreciate, but I think he was misunderstood as a person. I think he's one of those complicated cats that it had insane talent. Insane talent.
That's an understatement.
Without question.
In my opinion, there was not a doubt he was going to be a Hall of Famer. And I don't know exactly what happened there, but it's unfortunate that he's not playing it, because I think golf would have benefited from Anthony Kim playing golf. So, him, I think he was the best player of that President's Cup team in 2009 for sure. And he was, dude, he is one of those guys that he loves that controversy. He loves people, and he just feeds off of it. And he would go put his headphones on and sit by himself on the couch and be antisocial. And certain people on the team would say certain things. And, I know guys on the international team were talking shit, and he'd go out there and whoop them. Mm-hmm. I mean, he would give them a schlacking.
Well, I'll be honest, Sean. We're trying very hard to get him on Golf Subpar.
We are
so
dying.
If you could lean on him a little bit.
Yeah,
for
do you
us?
want to make a little pitch right now to AK?
Yeah, I got him in my speed dial. Let me
Perfect.
call him
Text
right
him
up.
after, say, dude,
Yeah.
great show.
Yeah.
I think you'd have a blast.
All right. Well,
We're
let's
trying to
get
hunt him down.
the somewhat mythical creature who we don't not sure if he's dead, alive, or what he's doing anymore. Anthony Kim ever graced you with his presence?
Oh, yeah.
No, but he's mythical to me too. Coach always talked about it. He would come up like randomly, only when Coach was there. He would come up like once a year when Coach was there, and they would hang out. But other than that, you never saw him. You just heard of him.
What kind of stories does Coach tell about AK?
Yeah. Give us everything.
There's some good ones. I don't know how much I can share, but he told us a couple. He just, I probably can't say too much about it.
Okay,
but,
how about this? What did he say about his talent?
Oh, he said he said even still to this day when he comes up and hits balls, he's like, it's almost like sad because he's still so good that he, like, no one is able to see it. But he said he was a freak of nature. He was so good.
To this day, the most talented guy I've ever played with in terms of like looking at a guy and thinking I have 0% chance of beating you. He was.
You were correct.
He was a monster. And guess what? I never did.
You were correct.
I was right. I was spot on.